Let me ask you a question. If someone handed you a glass of dirty water, would you drink it? Of course not. You'd say, no way! That's harmful. That's unhealthy. So why do we so easily allow mental pollution into our minds? We consume junk all day long, negative news, gossip, complaints, doubts, fears, limiting beliefs, and then wonder why we feel stuck, drained, and unsure of ourselves. See, just like the body becomes what you feed it, the mind becomes what you feed it. If you feed it junk, you'll get junk results. If you feed it strength, wisdom, discipline, well, now you're building something powerful. I call this mental nutrition, because the quality of your thinking will determine the quality of your life. 1. Your mind is a garden. What are you planting? Imagine your mind as a garden. It doesn't care what you plant. It will return what you sow. If you plant tomatoes, you don't get cucumbers. If you plant poison ivy, you don't get roses. The same is true of your thoughts. If you plant negativity, fear, doubt, you'll reap frustration, anxiety, and failure. If you plant hope, faith, discipline, you'll reap clarity, direction, and success. You must guard your mind like a skilled gardener. Don't just let anything grow there. Remove the weeds of fear and self-pity. Water the seeds of courage and vision. Stand guard at the door of your mind. I always say, because if you don't, someone else will plant something you don't want to grow. 2. What mental junk food looks like. Just like there's physical junk food, chips, soda, fast food, there's also mental junk food. And it comes in many forms. The news cycle, fear, outrage, and negativity on repeat. Social media, drama, comparison, envy, superficiality. Toxic people always complaining, blaming, gossiping. Limiting beliefs. I can't. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? Now, a little snack here and there won't kill you. But if your daily mental diet is 90% junk, you'll get the mental version of obesity, lethargy, confusion, self-doubt. You must be deliberate about what enters your mental space. Don't give your attention away so cheaply. Your mind is not a trash can. 3. Mental nutrition. Then, what should you feed your mind? If you want a strong body, you feed it protein, vegetables, water, and movement. If you want a strong mind, here's what you need to feed it. A. Books that inspire you. Start with 10 pages a day. Imagine feeding your mind daily with greatness, from history, philosophy, psychology, business, or biographies. Read about those who came from nothing and built empires. Their stories will feed your belief. Poor people have big TVs. Rich people have big libraries. B. Audio programs and podcasts. Listen while driving, walking, exercising. Turn your car into a classroom. Listen to people who uplift, challenge, and educate. C. Affirmations and self-talk. Speak strength to yourself. Feed your subconscious with confidence. Say, I am capable. I am learning. I can improve. D. Journaling. Reflecting on your thoughts is like digesting mental food. You write, process, learn. It clears your mind and makes room for clarity. E. Positive environment. Spend time with people who make you feel inspired, not drained. The company you keep is part of your mental diet. 4. Starving doubt. Why it must be done. Now that we've talked about feeding your mind, let's talk about starving your doubts. Because doubt is like a parasite. It lives off your energy, off your dreams, off your effort. It whispers, who do you think you are? You're too late. You've failed before. Let me tell you something, you weren't born with those doubts. They were installed by experiences, failures, opinions of others. And just like they were installed, they can be uninstalled. How? By starving them. By not giving them attention. By not entertaining their lies. By replacing them with better mental food. If you stop feeding a fire, what happens? It dies out. Same with doubt. Stop feeding it and it loses power. 5. The 3 enemies of mental growth. Here are the top 3 forces that feed your doubts and weaken your mind. A. Excuses. Excuses are lies we sell to ourselves to avoid growth. They comfort us temporarily and destroy us gradually. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not smart enough. All excuses. And all false. B. Procrastination. Nothing weakens the mind more than delay. When you know what to do and you don't do it, your self-trust erodes. C. Negative influences. A single toxic voice can derail months of progress. You must protect your mental circle like a king protects his castle. 6. Upgrade your inputs. Upgrade your life. Here's a simple truth. Change what goes in, and what comes out will change. If you start feeding your mind purpose instead of confusion, discipline instead of laziness, faith instead of fear, clarity instead of chaos, then you start becoming someone new. You cannot live a positive life with a negative mind. And you can't expect powerful outcomes from weak inputs. 7. Practical mental diet plan. 7 days. Here's a quick plan to begin feeding your mind powerfully for just 7 days. Day 1. Read 10 pages of a self-growth book, 30 minutes of inspirational audio. Write 3 things you're grateful for day 20. Listen to a podcast on discipline. Journal on your biggest fear. Avoid all news and gossip. Day 3. Watch a motivational video. Write your goals for 1 year. Say 3 affirmations aloud. Day 40. Read a biography of someone successful. Spend 15 minutes alone in silence. Delete toxic content from social media. Day 5. Exercise while listening to audio. Learning. Reflect on a past victory. Plan tomorrow in advance. Day 6. No complaining. Full day. Help someone without expecting return. Revisit your biggest why. Day 7. Review your week. Celebrate progress. Commit to repeating next week. Try this, and you'll feel the shift in energy, belief, and clarity. 8. Final thought. Who are you becoming? At the end of the day, it's not about motivation. It's about transformation. And transformation happens slowly, daily, consistently. Every book you read, every good idea you feed yourself, every doubt you starve adds up. So ask yourself, am I feeding my dreams or my doubts? Am I nurturing my future or recycling my past? Am I planting weeds or growing greatness? Feed your mind and you feed your future. Starve your doubts and you starve your limits. Let's be honest, sometimes the enemy isn't outside. It's inside. Not the economy, not your family, not your boss. It's that voice inside your head that says, you're not ready. You always mess things up. Others are better than you. That's not logic. That's not wisdom. That's the inner critic. The voice of doubt, insecurity, and fear. And if you don't learn how to silence it, it will sabotage every great opportunity that comes your way. You don't need a new opportunity. You need a new belief system. 1. Where the inner critic comes from, you weren't born with self-doubt. You didn't come into this world thinking you were worthless. Those thoughts were planted in you by critical parents or teachers, past failures or rejections, harsh words from others, comparisons you made growing up, cultural or societal standards. And what happens? You start building a story around it. I always mess up. I'm not made for success. People like me don't get ahead. Here's the truth: that story is a lie, but it becomes your reality until you rewrite it. 2. Your belief system is your operating system. Think of your beliefs like the software running your life. If it's outdated, filled with bugs, and corrupted with viruses, like doubt and fear, then your results will always be glitchy, no matter how talented you are, no matter how big your dreams. If your belief system says, I can't, then you won't. That's why Jim Rohn said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Why? Because if your mindset is right, everything else follows. 3. Signs your inner critic is running the show. Let's be practical. How do you know the inner critic is active? Here are the signs. A. Overthinking everything you plan. Hesitate, replan, second guess, delay, and nothing gets done. B. Negative self-talk. You beat yourself up for small mistakes. You call yourself names in your mind. C. Fear of judgment. You worry what others will think, so you shrink yourself to stay invisible. D. Perfectionism. If it's not perfect, it's worthless. You'd rather not try than risk looking foolish. E. Comparing yourself constantly. You always feel behind, less than, or inferior, especially on social media. Sound familiar? That's the inner critic at work. And if you don't address it, it'll bury your potential. 4. Rewriting the story. A new internal script. You can't just stop thinking negative. That doesn't work. You must replace the negative voice with a stronger one. Let's build a new script. Here are some rewired beliefs to adopt and affirm daily. I am learning. I don't have to be perfect to make progress. My past does not define my future. Every expert was once a beginner. My thoughts are not facts. I choose which ones to follow. I show up even when I feel fear. I deserve to take up space. Write your own. Speak them aloud. Post them on your wall. Make them your new operating system. 5. The 3 R's method to silence the inner critic. Here's a powerful framework to deal with self-doubt. The 3 R's. Recognize. The first step is awareness. When that negative voice starts whispering, catch it. Name it. Don't let it hide. Example. That's just the inner critic trying to sabotage me again. Reframe. Challenge it. Ask, is this thought even true? Is it helpful? Would I say this to someone I love? Then replace it from, I'll probably fail. Even if I fail, I'll learn and grow. Rewire. Repeat the new belief over and over until your brain accepts it as default. This takes time, but the brain is plastic. It changes with repetition and intention. Your thoughts create your beliefs. Your beliefs create your behavior. Your behavior creates your life. 6. Identity-based change. Not just action-based. Here's a Jim Rohn truth bombs. Don't just change what you do. Change who you are becoming. Most people try to change their life by forcing action. I'll wake up early. I'll go to the gym. I'll be productive. But they never shift their identity, so the change doesn't last. If deep down you still believe, I'm lazy, you'll sabotage your efforts. Start affirming a new identity. I'm the kind of person who keeps promises to myself. I'm the kind of person who does hard things. I'm a finisher, not just a starter. That identity will reshape your habits and decisions effortlessly. 7. Who you listen to matters. If you surround yourself with people who doubt, criticize, and belittle, you'll internalize those voices. Your environment becomes your inner world. You need to create a circle of belief around you. People who push you forward, voices who remind you what's possible, mentors who elevate your thinking, friends who believe in the best version of you. Because when you start believing in yourself, and the world doesn't yet, it helps to borrow belief from others until yours becomes strong. 8. A daily battle. But worth the fight. Don't expect the inner critic to disappear overnight. It's a daily battle, a war of thoughts. But it's one you can win. Every time you challenge a negative thought, you weaken it. Every time you speak confidence, you strengthen a new belief. It's like working out a mental muscle. Here's your daily workout. Write 3 empowering thoughts, speak 3 strong affirmations, catch and reframe 1 negative belief, take 1 bold action, even if scared, repeat. Daily, without fail. 9. Create a confidence file. This is a powerful technique. Create a folder, physical or digital, called Proof I Am Capable. In it, collect compliments you've received, past wins, even small ones, screenshots of praise or progress, notes from mentors or friends, photos of you accomplishing something. Whenever doubt hits, open this file and remind yourself, you've done great things before. You can do great things again. Feed your mind with proof, not with panic. 10. Final thought. Don't let doubt be the loudest voice. Remember, the inner critic isn't your truth. It's just a scared part of you that's trying to protect you, but doing it poorly. You have dreams, gifts, ideas. Don't let that voice rob you of your life. Silence it not with hate, but with clarity. Replace it with better beliefs. Surround yourself with stronger voices, and show up daily as the person you're becoming. Let me ask you something. What do you do every day without fail? Because the truth is, success isn't in what you do occasionally. It's in what you do consistently. You see, greatness doesn't show up as one giant leap. It shows up as a quiet discipline repeated over and over. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Jim Rohn, your routine is either building you or breaking you. There is no neutral. The habits you repeat shape the person you become. 1. You don't decide your future. You decide your habits. Most people are focused on goals. They say, one day I'll write a book. One day I'll get fit. One day I'll become successful. But here's the problem. One day is not on the calendar. It never shows up. What does show up? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And those days are filled with your routines, your repeated behaviors. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So don't just ask, what do I want? Ask, what am I doing every day to move toward it? 2. Identity is built through repetition. Your identity isn't built by shouting affirmations once in the mirror. It's built through action-based proof repeated daily. When you wake up early, you tell your mind, I'm disciplined. Hit the gym. You tell your mind, I care about my health. Read each day. You tell your mind, I value learning. Keep promises to yourself. You tell your mind, I can trust me. Do this long enough, and you don't just believe these things. You become them. 3. The power of keystone habits. Some habits have a ripple effect. They shift your entire identity and influence other areas of your life. We call these keystone habits. Here are a few. A. Early rising. It creates momentum. Waking up early gives you control over your day. You start proactive, not reactive. B. Daily reading 10 pages a day, 12-15 books a year. It feeds your mind, shifts your perspective, and helps you grow. C. Physical movement. Exercise fuels discipline, energy, and mental strength. It builds your body and your willpower. D. Journaling. Reflection helps you digest your day and spot patterns in your thinking. E. Planning tomorrow. Tonight. Clarity before sleep leads to purpose when you wake. 4. Designing your morning routine. The first 60-90 minutes of your day set the tone for everything else. Let's build a millionaire morning routine, not in wealth alone, but in discipline and focus. Wake up with purpose. No snooze button. Drink water. Hydrate your brain. Move your body. Stretch. Walk. Light workout. Silence or meditation. Calm the mind. Gratitude journal. List 3 things you're thankful for. Read something uplifting. 10 pages. Review goals. Reconnect with your vision. Do this daily and watch how your mind sharpens and your days improve. 5. Evening routine. The bookend of excellence. The day doesn't end when you're tired. It ends when you complete your process. Here's a sample evening routine that feeds the mind and starves distractions. Review your day. Wins, lessons, improvements, plan the next day. Appointments, tasks, goals, shut down screens early. Give your mind rest. Read something calming. Feed the mind before sleep. Sleep at a set time. Discipline the end. Not just the beginning. Evening routines aren't just about rest. They're about resetting your mind to win tomorrow. 6. The 3 laws of habit mastery. Let's make your routine stick. Here are 3 Jim Rohn style truths to lock habits into place. Law 1. Start ridiculously small. Want to read more? Start with 1 page. Want to exercise? Start with 5 minutes. Success is not about intensity. It's about consistency. Motivation gets you going. Discipline keeps you growing. Law of 2. Make it visible, out of sight, out of mind. Put your book on your pillow. Set your gym clothes by the bed. Use visual cues to support your habit. Law of 3. Track it daily. What gets measured gets improved. Use a simple habit tracker. Cross off each win. Let your consistency become your motivation. 7. Remove friction. Make success easier. Want to stick to a habit? Remove resistance. Friction kills habits. Examples: want to read more. Carry a book everywhere. Want to drink more water? Keep a bottle at your desk. Want to eat healthier? Prep meals in advance. Want to write daily? Set up your writing space the night before. And remove friction from bad habits too. Delete distracting apps. Block websites. Set time limits. Turn off notifications. Design your environment to make success easy and failure hard. 8. Anchor habits. Stack to succeed. One of the easiest ways to build a new habit is to attach it to an existing one. It's called habit stacking. Examples: after brushing your teeth, do 5 push-ups. After making coffee, read 1 page. After parking your car, take 3 deep breaths. After checking email, go write 1 goal. Small changes, anchored to existing behaviors, build new neural pathways. Over time, it becomes effortless. 9. Protect the first and last hour. If you only master 2 things, the first hour of your day, the last hour before sleep, you will outgrow 90% of the people around you. Because these 2 hours are pure mental gold. They are when your subconscious is most open. If you feed it doubt, fear, stress, you poison it. If you feed it gratitude, clarity, purpose, you empower it. So protect them fiercely. Don't check your phone first thing. Don't fall asleep to negative noise. Make those hours sacred. 10. Don't rely on motivation. Build systems. Motivation is great when it shows up. But systems are greater because they show up even when you don't feel like it. That's the secret to long-term growth. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Jim Rohn: build a system so simple that success becomes automatic. 11. The identity upgrade through routine. Let me tell you something powerful. Every time you follow your routine, especially when you don't feel like it, you reinforce a new identity. You stop being the person who trays and start becoming the person who does. You build self-respect. You build trust in yourself. And once you trust yourself, you become unshakable. 12. Final thought: build the machine. Let it work for you. Success isn't a lightning bolt. It's a machine. You build it brick by brick, behavior by behavior. And when it's in place, it does the heavy lifting. Here's the truth. You don't need more time. You need more routine. You don't need more talent. You need more discipline. You don't need motivation. You need systems. Feed your mind through consistent routines. Starve your doubts by replacing chaos with order. And over time, you won't just be productive, you'll be powerful. Let's get something straight. Mastery is not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not even about timing. It's about mindset. You can have the best tools, the greatest environment, and even access to opportunity. But if your mindset is weak, all of it falls apart. You don't become what you want. You become what you believe. Jim Rohn. This final chapter is about building a mindset of mastery. Not a mindset of survival. Not a mindset of getting by. But a mindset that says, I'm here to lead my life, not just live it. 1. The 3 levels of mindset. There are 3 types of people when it comes to mindset. A. The victim. This mindset says, why is this happening to me? They blame, complain, and stay stuck in cycles. They wait for someone else to save them. B. The achiever. This one says, I will make things happen. They hustle, push, and drive forward. But often, they burn out because they try to control everything. C. The master. This mindset says, I am aligned with purpose. They still work hard, but from clarity, not chaos. From confidence, not fear. The goal is to rise from victim through achiever and into mastery. Mastery is peace with power. 2. Mastery starts with responsibility. The foundation of a powerful mind is radical responsibility. When you take ownership of your life fully, everything changes. No more blaming your past, waiting for permission, looking for external validation. You say, if it's to be, it's up to me. And that one shift gives you freedom. Responsibility doesn't mean blame. It means power. You can't control everything, but you can always control your response. 3. Long-term thinking. The master's lens. Most people operate from short-term emotion. They ask, what do I feel like doing today? What's easiest? What will people think? A master's think long-term. They ask, who am I becoming if I do this consistently? What does this decision lead to in 5 years? Is this aligned with my deepest values? Short-term pain is often the price of long-term reward. Do what is easy and life will be hard. Do what is hard and life will be easy. 4. Emotional mastery. Stay calm in the storm. Your ability to succeed is directly tied to your ability to manage your emotions. Most people react. Masters respond. Reaction says, I'm angry, so I yell. I'm sad, so I quit. I'm afraid, so I hide. Response says, I feel anger, but I choose clarity. I feel fear, but I act with courage. I feel doubt, but I lead with discipline. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you don't feel. It means your feelings don't control you. Train your emotional muscles daily. Practice breath work. Journal your triggers. Pause before reacting. Meditate consistently. Stillness is the language of mastery. 5. The power of clarity. Know who you are. The master has clarity in 3 areas. A. Purpose. They know why they do what they do. They don't drift. They drive. B. Values. They know what matters most. Decisions become easier when values are clear. C. Vision. They know where they're going, even if the path is foggy. Ask yourself, what would I pursue if I knew I couldn't fail? What would I work on if no one ever clapped? What do I want to be remembered for? Feed your mind daily with these questions, because clarity silences confusion. 6. The master's discipline. Consistency over intensity. Masters are consistent. They don't rely on inspiration. They rely on systems. They don't ask you, do I feel like it? They ask, what's required today? They show up when it's boring. They do the work when no one's watching. They honor their word even when it's uncomfortable. That's the difference between amateurs and masters. Amateurs wait for the mood. Masters move regardless of mood. Build habits that don't require willpower. Build systems that run even when motivation dies. 7. Feedback and failure. Tools, not threats. To the average person, failure is the end. To the master, it's information. Every mistake contains a lesson. Every rejection reveals a refinement. Failure is not final, it's feedback. Masters seek feedback, not validation. They want to grow, not be flattered. They use failure to sharpen their edge. They embrace correction as a blessing. Adopt the mindset, I either win or I learn. Both are progress. 8. Mental resilience. When life doesn't go your way, there will be setbacks, delays, frustrations, losses. You'll face moments where nothing makes sense. But mastery says, this is temporary. This will make me stronger. This is shaping my character. Train your mental resilience like a muscle. Embrace discomfort regularly. Cold showers, fasting, workouts. Set goals that stretch you. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Practice gratitude. Even in adversity, every challenge is either a reason to break or a reason to build. You choose. 9. Feed your mind with higher level thinking. Here's the difference in thinking patterns. Average mindset, master mindset. I hope it works. I'll make it work. Why me? Why not me? This is too hard. This is the price of growth. I don't have time. I haven't made it a priority. What if I fail? What if I grow? Elevate the level of conversation you allow in your head. Speak to yourself like a leader would, not like a critic would. Your inner dialogue is your programming. 10. Surround yourself with masters. If you hang around victims, you'll become bitter. If you hang around critics, you'll become hesitant. If you hang around masters, you'll become excellent. The people you spend time with either challenge your standards or comfort your excuses. Choose wisely. Mastery is often caught, not just taught. Proximity changes perspective. Get around people whose energy makes you believe again. 11. Leadership starts with you. You may not be leading a company. You may not be leading a movement. But you are leading yourself. Every single day. You lead your thoughts, actions, reactions, habits, decisions. Be the leader you wish you had. Act as if the world is watching, and one day it will be. 12. Final thought. You were built for more. You weren't born to live in doubt. You weren't born to play small. You weren't born to feed fear, chase comfort, and call it a life. You were born to grow, to lead, to rise. You were built with greatness in mind. But that greatness must be unlocked, and the key is your mindset. So feed your mind daily. with truth, with vision, with boldness. And starve every doubt that tells you you're anything less than extraordinary, because mastery isn't a destination. It's a decision, made daily.